Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. We're going to talk about clip shows. And can we do clip shows in Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition? All right, so just in case you've been living in a cave and you don't know what a clip show is, or you're young. I think a lot of young people don't know what clip shows are. So American sitcom, American situation comedy, right? Classic genre, and it's huge. There's like a lot of cool sitcoms, and people continue to put sitcoms out, new sitcoms every year. And sitcoms have a tradition called a clip show. Okay, now a clip show in the old days, clip shows were lazy and people really hated them, right? And like basically it was like you get into season 3 or 4 and the writers would be like, you know, coming back from rehab or whatever, right? And then you'd be like, oh, we got to do a clip show, right? We can't do a real show this week, which is, so we're just going to have the characters in the situation comedy remember cool things that happened throughout all the other seasons, right? And then they would literally show clips from the show in the show as an episode, let's remember this funny thing that happened. And you're like, man, this is lazy, and people really disliked clip shows. But they did a lot of them. There were a lot of sitcoms, and almost every sitcom did a clip show at one time or another, right? And and you would do these clip shows, right? Now, why would we try to do something that's lazy and hackneyed in our Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition? Well, there's a reason. The clip show was around for so long, and it was done so often, right, that what ended up happening is there were a couple shows that were like, hey, we're getting to the point where we could do a clip show, but rather than do a clip show, let's innovate it, right? And innovation is really important. I actually think it's one of the biggest problems in tabletop role-playing games is that there is virtually no innovation in the form. Literally, the only thing I can really think has been innovated in 47 years is the narrative dice in FFG. That's true innovation in tabletop role-playing games. There's a few innovations that come from Dungeons & Dragons, but overall, actually outside, I would say there's probably another 3 or 4 that come from Dungeons & Dragons, but overall, there's just not much innovation in the form, right? So there were 2 shows that did amazing innovation on the clip show, right? So the first one is Avatar: Last Airbender. It's an animated show, and in that they do a clip show where the main characters are sneak into the Fire Nation, and they're in disguise, and the Fire Nation does a propaganda play explaining the history of the Avatar and his friends. So the Avatar and his friends watch a play which is a retelling of everything that's happened in the show so far. So it's technically a clip show, but it's hilarious, it's surprising, it's innovative. Like the Avatar and his friend, he's like, oh my gosh, am I being played by a girl? Right? I'm not that effeminate, right? It's very funny, and and it's really just unique, and it was a clip show done in a way that I had never seen. I just saw another show that did a clip show in an incredibly innovative way, which is Community. So I'm watching Community. I love the Community show, and I really highly encourage you to check out. If you're a 5th edition Dungeon Master, you really should be watching Community, because guess what? It deals with the interaction pillar at a level that I've never seen any situation comedy deal with it ever. It's incredible, right? So what they did with their clip show was Community had a clip show in season 3, and they presented all these clips and all these so in a traditional clip show, they just show you literally just clip out certain clips from the show and re-show them. So they're getting new content from the same content. They're getting, it's like a cheat, right? But Community did this thing where they did a clip show, and every clip was new content. It wasn't memories of what happened. It was the actual character saying, remember when we did this? And then they would do the thing, and they had never done that thing. It was so innovative and unique and real. I couldn't believe it, right? It was just really incredible, right? And so it was a clip show where every clip, rather than just being an old memory, was literally new content and completely out of context for us, because we had never seen And they're just saying, remember when we did this? And like, none of the stuff was old. It was brand new and completely out of context. And it just changed the clip show completely. So how do we do clip shows in innovative, cool ways in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition? There's a few. So I have one idea, and then I'm going to turn it over to for you, right? One, do you think we should do this? Do you think we should do innovative clip shows in our Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaigns, right? So here we go. Here's my idea. So you get, you're playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. You have, and basically your player characters go into disguise, exactly like Avatar, right? And what happens is they go into a tavern and they hear a tavern singer singing their tales, right? And of course, like 90%, I would say 80% of what they're going to put down is right, but 80% is completely wrong, right? And so I think this is really interesting and cool, this idea of, hey, let's get some of this wrong and see how the player characters react. So bards telling the tales of what happened before. The other thing, here's another way that you can do a clip show. So you can put this in Neverwinter, right? And the player characters are they're hired to do a heist, right? So you got a rogue. The rogue's going to take point on this one, and the rogue is and basically they said, hey, we want this one wooden box that is in this this house, this high house family, like, House Tigran. We want you to infiltrate House Tigran, and and you're going to go into this mansion, and on the 4th floor there's a wooden box, and the wooden box is it has 3 red beads on, so we want you to get that. So they go in, right, to get this wooden box, right? But here's what happens. They come across a curtained area, and they pull the curtain back, and right in front of them are magically floating are levitating orbs, right? And these orbs are glass orbs, the same as would be a focus for a wizard, and in each glass orb is essentially like a snow globe, a picture of things that have happened to the player characters. And so you can, and you could pick like 6 to 12 different, and you could say, you look into the orb and you see your fighter, and he strikes a displacer, he strikes a displacer beast, and you see your cleric, and they are, the fighter's been dropped by a young green dragon, and the cleric puts their hand on his heart and heals him, and he's restored. He doesn't die, and so in each of these orbs are the actual things that happen, the clips, right? And then it becomes a mystery. They're like, why is somebody recording on these magical orbs events from our history, right? And then it could go from there, right? So those are 2 ideas I have. What do you think? What are innovative ways we can do clip shows in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition games? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. And what's your opinion of clip shows and sitcoms? I'd love to hear. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.